So part two of my video continued. So Corolla was the first Corolla I bought when I was living with my parents' house. I got it for $500. It was a waste. It was complete burn on money. I just bought it because I always wanted to show my wife I like pop-up headlight cars, and I guess I bought it, but it was in bad taste. It was a stupid decision. I scrapped it in the end because, long story short, the clutch went and I had to push it to my driveway again. I didn't even put it on my name or anything. It was just scrapped. Okay, another car. So Camry. So the Camry I had, the fuel injectors went. The 99 Camry. I bought a 99 Camry in 2020 June, I think, and got rid of it in February 17, 2022. And I put on like 24,000 kilometers on it. 304, and I got rid of it at 327. I got 303, 304, something like that. So 20-something thousand kilometers. Exactly 327 too. It was so bad on gas. It was unbelievable. It was so bad on gas. It was doing 15 to 16 miles per gallon. I used to calculate. I used to write down in my book how much money I paid on gas, how much liters of gas went in, what the price of gas was. Then I would set my odometer, the tripometer, I mean. And then I would, when my gas ran out, almost ran out, came to almost empty, I would write down how much kilometers I drove, calculate the amount of gas, everything. It worked out to 15 to 16 miles per gallon, which works out to 5 to 6.5 kilometers per liter. 5 to 6.5 kilometers per liter is less than a Toyota Sienna. It's as much as it's like a Toyota 4Runner. That's how bad it is. It's so bad. Back in the day, Toyota 4Runner used to get the same gas mileage as my Camry was getting because the fuel injectors were shot. So it was like, you know, like a pen when the ballpoint is broken, the ink just keeps coming out uncontrollably. That's how my car was. The fuel injectors were worn out, and to change the fuel injectors apparently it cost more than the car. That's what people told me. So I said, why would I change the fuel injectors? I'll change the car. So I didn't do anything about it. It was a mistake. I shouldn't have bought the car. But I didn't know that buying the car. I know Camrys had that problem from that generation. So the Camry was a mistake. So the first Corolla, shouldn't have bought that. That was more for style, more than for, purpose. So 5 cars out now. So I have 5 left. And so I'll just get to the point. The 2 Integras I had, the first one had 391,000 kilometers on it. It was done for. It was lowered. It didn't have power steering. The guy took power steering out. It was a fun car. It wasn't really for reality. So I know it was smoked and so I don't bring my family in it. So that was done for. I also scrapped that away. I bought it because I had money and I didn't know what I was doing. I was like 21. So, when you get, for the first time, when you want to go buy Integras and buy nice pop-up headlights cars, and you have money, and I only had one car at that point in my life. I had the Oldsmobile Color Supreme. So I had my Accord, then I had Oldsmobile Color Supreme. Well, my dad bought the Accord. So now I have money. I have $3-4 grand. I'm like, I want to go buy some cars. So I bought the 650 Integra, $500 Corolla. Then I bought the Acura EL, which was probably the best car I ever owned in my entire life. So 2 Integras. First one was bullshit. The second one was really good, but even that wasn't good on gas. And it had lower back. It was too low. So I sat low in the car and it gave me lower back pain every single day. So it hurt a lot. So I couldn't drive it. My neighbor used to have a Prelude. My downstairs tenant, my dad's tenant back in Ramana, Tamil guy, he came with his mom, his dad died when he was young. He had a 91 Prelude, a red color one. 91 Honda Prelude. And his back, he said, was on fire because of that car. He said he would switch to a 2000 Corolla Civic, a 2000-ish Civic, because his back was on fire. So I remember he said that, and I had the same problem. He had exactly almost this car. And this exact car. He used to live in my basement. I used to think he's the coolest guy ever. I took that Prelude for granted because everyone at the time had nice cars. Back then, everyone had cool cars. Down the street, Tasso had 91 CRX. Tasso's dead now. Rest his peace. God rest his soul. Rest in peace, Tasso. Everyone had cool cars, but the cool cars which are low, as much as it's cool, it gives lower back pain. A lot of guys have it, but they don't talk about it. So the Integras are out. I couldn't even drive it. I put 7,000 kilometers on that second Integra. I was usually going to a girl's house who was now called the police on me. But I wanted to show her the car and let her drive it to see how good the handling is. But man, my back was on fire. And I was like, I can't drive this thing anymore. So I sold it off. I bought that car for $750. So 2 Integras are out just because I can't use it functionally. I put 7,000 kilometers and I was struggling. 2 Integras are out. So now I'm up to 3 cars. One Corolla and 2 Civics. One of the cars is Acura EL. It's a Civic, Honda Civic. And funny enough, all 3 cars the same year, 99. 99 Civic, 99 Corolla, 99 Acura EL. The Acura EL is a Civic, rebadged as an Acura EL with minor upgrades, which make a big difference, however, which we'll get to now. So the 99 Acura EL is better interior. It had a security system on the key fob, so if you lock the car with the lock and you open the door, someone opens it, the anti-alarm system goes, anti-theft system goes off. My Civic didn't have that. It didn't even have a security system. My Civic. The interior of the Civic was really ugly. The interior's Acurial was beautiful. It had amber lights, orange lighting. It had like everything was more nicer. Nice CD player, nice tape deck. Yeah, tape deck. And the Civic didn't even have a CD player. Instead, it had a radio. The interior of the styling in EL was perfect. It was so nice. It was clean. It was simple, but it was beautiful. The Civic was bland and gray and boring. And it was also not good on gas. The Civic. I don't even know why. The EL was manual, which I didn't like, but it was so good on gas. So amazing on gas. So it was the best car. It made the Civic look like not worth owning. So yeah. And the exterior of the car was beautiful. The car was just beautiful. It was so beautiful. I love driving that thing. So second car I would say was the 99 Corolla. The 99 Corolla, which I also used to drive to Yashika's house. You know, she called the police on me. I can't go back to her or communicate with her. But it was a great car. I'll show you. The interior was gold. It was so beautiful inside. I can show you exactly what it looked like, but it has to be my version, I think. It looks like this. And it was the second best car. It was runner-up is for the best car, I would say. Wait, it's not this. I'm gonna show you the cars. Give me a second. I need to find it. I can't really. Oh, here it's like this, but it just has to open the freaking. It looks exactly like this, but they gotta show me the interior. Okay, this hopefully this has interior pieces. I should probably have all this loaded up beforehand. Oh yeah, looks like this. And yeah, to me, this interior was simple. It was strong. It was very beautiful. Had a clock that worked. It had everything. I think the clock didn't work perfectly though. Something wrong with it, but it was a turnkey car. It was the most reliable car next to the EL. I would say the Corolla is more reliable, but you got more car out of the EL. You got more functionality out of the EL. I mean, I put my CDs in the EL. It was the best car. The Acura EL 99 was the best car. It was also better on gas than the Corolla was. So the number one car I ever had is Acura EL. Number two is Corolla. Number three is like pretty much everything else. Probably the Accord or Civic or the Integra. Probably the Integra or the Civic. Then the Accord and Camry. So I had a really competitive cars. I had really, really good cars, reliable, and they're really competitive in their own right. They were all really, really good for money for value. But 100% in Canada, where you put high kilometers and you're driving back and forth and idling and highway and then city and highway and then city, all the chaos of Canada combined, the EL and Corolla were easily the most peaceful cars I had. And I only paid $950 for the EL and I only paid $780 for the Corolla. I paid $700 for the second Camry and $1,500 for the first Camry, which I sold for $950. The $700 Camry I scrapped for $500. The Integra, I bought the second Integra, $750, sold for $1,200. First Integra, $650, scrapped it for like $100 and something dollars. First Corolla, bought for $500, scrapped it for like $100 something dollars. First, the Oldsmobile Color Supreme, only one I bought. I paid $500 for it. Then I told her I'd pay $100 more because I was going for charity, all the money for Habitat for Humanity. $600 I paid in the end. I paid $100 online. I scrapped it for $300, got $300 back eventually. And that was it. Two Integras. Accord, my dad bought it. I paid him $500 because I wanted to be mine. Got $300 back. Corolla, Civic, everything was mine in the end. So yeah, Accord, Oldsmobile, two Integras, two Corollas. Oh, I sold the Corolla for $1,000 in the end, and I sold the that was it. Two Camrys, yeah. And then Civic, I crashed. The one Civic I didn't mention, I bought it for $3,000 with my mom's money. I was the only car I didn't buy my own money. Every other car I bought with my money. She offered me money. I didn't want it. She said, "Go meet her. Here's $15,000. Go buy any car." I said, "Mom, I just need $3,000. I want to buy a used Civic." And my dad caused me to crash that car because he's an idiot. So yeah, those are the cars. The best car was the Acura EL, and the second was best was Corolla. But the point is, the reason the Acura is better, and I'll get to that now, is the handling. The real reason you drive a car is to go A to B. The more control you have in the handling, and the more pep you have, and the more tight the car is and compact, the better it feels. And that EL was all of those things. It was every single one of those things, 10 out of 10. and it's just the most peaceful driving thing. It was quiet inside. The car was severely sound insulated because it's an Acura compared to the Civic. So I had the 99 Civic and the 99 Acura EL, which like I said is a copy of this EL, the Civic. Just minor body changes. The EL was quiet inside, like it was quiet, but the Civic wasn't. You can hear the engine in the Civic really loudly, but the EL was so quiet, so peaceful. It was a better car. The Corolla, on the other hand, the handling was very like not good. It was very not good handling. It was very like cheap, but it was reliable. Everything inside was really strong. Remember the door handles broke, which didn't happen in the Yellow or Civic, but I can replace that for $10, and I did when I sold the car. It was really easy to maintain that car and make it happen, but the car was like cheap. It was cheap. It's like a Toyota Yaris, you feel. You know, Toyota Yaris, a small thing. It's like a very cheap small car. It's not really like an Acura EL. It's not really like a more luxurier minded car. And for a few $100s or a couple $1,000s more, you get an Acura EL. It makes a world of difference. And they're both the same on gas. And the Acura EL is extraordinarily reliable if you get a good one. So some of them were good, some of them weren't. The one generation I got it was the best. After that, it had some problems, but even then, it's still worth owning. Which brings me to my main point. The best handling cars I ever drove in my entire life, period. 91 CRX, I drove it in Sudbury, where I got scammed by a guy, but I went to court and got my money back. I never owned the car. It was the one that got away by leg getaway because I didn't want it. 91 CRX, best handling car. The car floats. It doesn't have power steering, but when you get the car moving, it doesn't matter. And the car is like, the steering's so quick you can't even keep up with. That's what I always said. Integra, the second Integra I had, I used to go on the highway 140 kilometers and zip through traffic. That Civic Coupe from that Paddles Place I talked about, that was one of the best cars. My dad's Civic, my EO, and then just in general, the Hondas and Acuras with double wishbone setup, which that CRX had double wishbone. All the cars I mentioned had double wishbone to some extent, if not on all four tires have double wishbone setup. Some Civics have double wishbone in the front and on the back. Some people, it depends. It's a variety, but most of them have double wishbone setup. And it just made the car so pleasant to drive. It was so fast, it was so quick, and you can just like go kart the car through everywhere. Whereas the Corolla or Highlander wasn't as good as that. It was okay, but it wasn't even comparable, to be honest. So the best handling, I got through that. Prius C, I got through that. And now, so a Camry, I told you how bad I was on gas. It was good size, better than Corolla or Civic or EL, but it was just, I would rather not buy that car ever. Camry, Accord, and the first Integra. Basically, in a nutshell, I wish I just kept that first EL and never bought a car ever again. Because I actually scrapped the car because some problems happened with it. Caught fire in my driveway, so I want to scrap it just in good faith. I don't want to sell it anymore. I tried selling it, and I'm like, whatever, scrap it. Integra I could have bought on the side and experienced because I want to experience that car and show my wife. I'll still do that probably in the future. The Corolla was inferior. The Civic was inferior. The two Camrys were unnecessary. And the first Corolla was also unnecessary. The Integra was unnecessary. And so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the EL was the only car I should have owned. And that was the car I had third. So my third car was Volkswagen Color Supreme. And then the first Integra, which I should have bought, then EL. If I just kept that EL and never bought any car ever again, I'll probably still have that car today. That's how good it was. I was mainly on gas, just a great car. Every other car I had after that had downsides to it that EL didn't have. Worse on gas, worse handling, just not a good driving car. So many factors. But that EL didn't have any of that. It was great on every level. Remember I told you initial buying value, how much it costs to keep it on the road, gas, insurance, all that kind of thing. EL was 10 out of 10 for everything. And it was really good handling and stuff too. It was really worth quality car to own. Like, it was such a perfect car. So when I went to Yashika's house in 2018 beginning, my heart told me, instead of buying that Corolla I bought, that blue color Corolla, to buy an EL. But I didn't listen. I'm an idiot. I thought, listen, resale value, let's just get a strong car. Let's get a Corolla instead. I know ELs are great, but I don't have any tools in case something happens. I thought Corolla was a better car. But apparently, I was too anxious for my own good. So the Acura, Honda, Toyota, Lexus are more refined cars, and they have more better attention to detail. And the details matter. the details that BMW and Benz and Range Rovers I used to drive that they focused on were not necessary. That's what I found. And furthermore, I hated rear-wheel drive cars. Rear-wheel drive and front-wheel drive were great, but all-wheel drive was the answer. It was really fast. It was really good handling. It's really good. And some of the fastest cars in the whole world is all-wheel drive. I can get to that later. But in Japan, there's this YouTube channel where they race all these cars. And consistently one of the best cars is 1998 Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 5. It's like 0 to 100 in 4 point something seconds. 4.5 or 4.4 or something. 4.6. A Ferrari 40 does 0 to 100 in like 3 point something seconds. So this 20 something $1,000 car is only a second slower than a Ferrari, which costs $400,000. Pretty incredible, right? So all-wheel drive is another thing I think is praiseworthy I should bring up. So handling of double, which one's the best? Reliability of Toyota Prius, Honda is great. And then finally, all-wheel drive. You can't beat all-wheel drive. You just can't. Reliable, smooth all-wheel drive is better than anything else. The all-wheel drive system has to work well though. Some of the all-wheel drive cars I tried on Subarus and other cars weren't the greatest. Subaru WRX is good, but not Subaru Forester. I don't care what everyone says, I should drive brand new Subaru Foresters every day. They weren't as reliable and smooth as an electric all-wheel drive car or other all-wheel drive cars. Other all-wheel drive cars were like so smooth, it was mind-boggling. Yeah, some all-wheel drive cars are better than others. That's all I'm saying. And so now we have electric cars. And so back in 2015, there's another point I want to mention. When I had the Acura, the first Integra, the first Corolla, Ultimate Plus Supreme on my drive, I had 4 cars. Big mistake, by the way. 2 of those cars I definitely shouldn't have had. And every other car after the EL, like I said before, I shouldn't have had. I should have stopped at the EL and kept that forever. And I only had like 220,000 kilometers in that car when I scrapped it. Stupid. And as my parents didn't want me to keep the car, they were just abusing my life, trying to get me out of the house because a bunch of black Tamils wanted my life not to happen, and they were trying to support that. My heart told me to buy a Toyota Prius back in 2015 February when I had all those cars, because I realized how hard it is to maintain all these 4 cars, so much upkeep, so much work, so much stress. Just maintaining one car is a lot of work. Toyota Prius is much better, much cheaper on gas, no maintenance, peace of mind car. So Toyota Prius trumps all of this, and then everything else. Nowadays, there's many cars coming out in the East. In the Western world, they don't want you to have electric cars from the East, but there are some I want to mention. I'm going to tell you so I'm going to tell you how bad electric cars solve the gas problem by showing you Honda N-Ban EV. So this is a tiny car. I mean ridiculously tiny, okay? So this is going to cost apparently $6,700. Honda N-Ban EV, okay? It's a tiny car. It's a weird shape. It's a little bit too skinny in terms of some things. It's a little bit too small this way. It should be a little bit longer. Like this part should be longer. It's tiny, right? It's sizably small compared to other cars. But you get the gist. If they make this thing a little bit bigger and put a few more $1,000 on that thing, you're getting a $6,700 US car, which costs roughly 9,000 Canadian. All electric. It does 200 kilometer range pretty much around there. And it's a great car. I'll tell you the range exactly is 130 miles, which is 210 kilometers. Now, Nissan Sakura EV range and price is 13,000 US, 180 kilometers, and just to make sure I can tell you, how much is it? 13,000, yeah, which is like something US. I don't know how much that is US, but Canadian, sorry. Either way, you can figure it out. It's a few $1,000s more, not much. This thing is also still small. It can make it a little bit bigger, but it's too small for our standards. But the point is, they can make this thing a little bit bigger this way. Look at the tire size, not bad. has good power, good torque, and like I said, good range. And you're gonna get a great car for roughly 15,000 Canadian, 16,000, 17,000 Canadian. So here's the point. So back in the day, we didn't have the option to get electric cars to get off this gasoline problem. And Honda and Toyota solved it by making us reliable cars. We can afford it for cheap. They have availability of aftermarket support. If your parts break on you, my Toyota Corolla I had, the second one, handle broke, I can go to scrapyard and get one immediately for $10. I can get one online, I learned later, I wish I knew that before, for $10. Very cheap. To get an interior handle and exterior handle. Interior is 10, exterior is 10. $10 free shipping. The handle that opens the driver's side door. I changed it myself, by the way. I changed the handle myself. Easily. Small engineering and tinkering easily solved the problem. So the car is easy to maintain. I changed my alternator for my Camry myself. The second Camry I had, the gold one, myself. Easily. It had a lifetime warranty on the first alternator. Went to the guy who sold to me. He gave me the receipt. Went to CarQuest, got a free alternator. Didn't pay 1 penny. Put it in myself. So you guys, Toyota and Honda, because it's so abundantly available and so much aftermarket support exists, people can easily fix the cars. It kills Cadillac or Ford, because even when Cadillac and Ford have the parts, it's just not worth the money because it's so unreliable. So it keeps breaking. It's just watered down garbage, really. No offense. So, yeah. So Toyota, Honda are the best, which we already knew that. And my heart told me in 2015 to go to Prius, because good resale value, much better on gas. So let me tell you about the gas problem now. Car insurance is a different problem. All cars have car insurance problems in Toronto because, we're paying through the nose. In Quebec, I was paying like $20. I could pay $20 for the same car I'm paying $300 for in Toronto, because the car insurance is not the same like it is here. We can't sue people for $1 million and stuff like that like we do in Toronto. That's the reason you're paying a lot of money in car insurance. There, they only pay you for the car. They don't pay you for the damage to the person. The person is taken care of by the government, not by the car insurance company. It's the same companies exist there. Bel Air Direct costs $20 for me, $15 for me for my Toyota Camry, 99 Gold Camry, and Toronto I was paying $300. So $15 for $300, almost, what is that, 20 times more. So that's how bad car insurance is in Toronto. It's a scam. Take car insurance out of the equation, because some places car insurance doesn't even exist. In Malaysia, car insurance is like $1 a month. It's like really cheap, really. Gas still exists though. So let's talk about how bad gas is. So the average Toyota Corolla or Civic, usually that I had, does 10 kilometers per liter, which works out to, if I drove 20,000 kilometers a year, $250 a month in gas. $250 a month on gas for a Civic or a Corolla with today's price of gas. Even a Prius, which has 20 kilometers a liter, is half that, $125. Now the best car on gas that ever was made, period, is this Honda K car and Toyota K car. Not Toyota, but these K cars. K cars are these tiny cars in Japan, like the ones I showed you. It's these Honda N-Van and Nissan Sakura. Those are technically K cars from Japan. See, this is the Honda N-Van, like I showed you. These are K cars. What they are is they're really tiny cars in Japan that aren't sold in the rest of the world, but they're like small engine. They're really, really good on gas. They're like, you get 30 kilometers per liter, 3 times that out of a Civic or a Corolla. And even that is $83 a month. They don't even have that here. But even if you did have that, the best cars on gas in the world are still running $8 on gas. So the point is, $8 on gas is a ridiculous expense. Because imagine how much that costs you per year, per 10 years. You're paying for more than the car's worth in the end of the day. Because those K cars, brand new, cost like 9, 10 grand, 8 grand Canadian. So why the hell are we paying $8 a month? That's kind of stupid, right? If I buy a laptop for $1,000, I'm paying $10 a month to maintain it. I'm like, it's kind of an unnecessary expense, don't you think? So, or like $30 a month in repairs is like, $1,000 laptop shouldn't cost that much, The gas situation is just for the companies who scam us. And that's what car insurance is too. So in the gas world, it's pretty much impossible to win. Unless you're in a Prius or like a Civic Hybrid. A good looking car, Civic Hybrid is good looking. Some Priuses are pretty weird looking. Some Priuses are okay looking. Some Priuses look weird. Most Priuses look weird, but whatever. The point is, money is being burnt on fire. The amount of money you would spend on a Civic on gas per year is like $3 grand. In 10 years, 30 grand. More than the price of more than the price of a Civic brand new. So why the hell are people spending this money on gas? Because we don't have a choice. We don't get the K cars here. We didn't get the electric cars 97. We're just stuck in the Civic Corolla world. That's what we're stuck in. We can't move to anything other than Prius, which isn't even that much better because you're still paying $125 a month for a Prius for gas for 20,000 kilometers a year. And other cars like Chevrolet Cruze or GMC or Cadillac or Ford or Buick or Porsche, it's much worse than 10 kilometers per liter. So that's what's going on, you guys. So even a Civic is paying $250 a month, and that's a good car on gas and reliability and all the other things I mentioned. So basically, when all things are considered, gas, maintenance, car cost, the bigger thing in the end is the long run. It isn't how much a $20,000 Civic costs in the beginning, or a $20,000 Ford sedan costs, or a $20,000 Camry, or it's more than $20,000, but you get my point. It's the 20 years you own the car, or 10 years, or 5 years, or 15 years, that's going to kill you more. And the Prius solves that problem because the gas, it controls to a certain level, and the repairs is almost negligible, almost nothing. No car is more reliable than a Prius in the gas world. So you're basically doing wonders with that thing. You just got to get a good one, which you like, and stuff like that. EL's good too, but EL's more of a fun car. It runs a little bit, it still runs bad on gas, like compared to a Prius, to be honest. It's good on gas, but still not good as a Prius. Anyway, so I was getting like 150 kilometers per liter for 10 liters, which is like 15 kilometers a liter on the EL, I believe. And the Corolla was 13 or 12 or 10. Civic was 10, sometimes 11 kilometers per liter, which is pretty good. The EL was the best because of manual. So that's my car lesson. Best handling cars, Honda for the double wishbone setup. Most reliable cars, Toyota and Honda. The best car to own in Toronto, considering you don't get the better electric vehicles and better cars on gas, Toyota Prius. And if you can get a good one, or Civic Hybrid, if you can get a good one. Good condition, brand new, whatever. Now they have the Honda Insight, brand new, which is kind of nice car too. I wouldn't get it though, because I would definitely move into electric, but hopefully all this information helps. And hopefully the losers who drive BMW or Benz kind of wake up and see how much money they're spending for nothing, really. So this is a redesigned Accord Insight or something. It's an Insight. Let me show you what it is. It's this. This is the Insight. It's kind of nice. And this is how the front looks, I guess. It's discontinued, but this is pretty good too. It's very good on gas. It was the same as the Prius on gas. So, and it's much better looking. And now the Corolla and the Camry also have done the Civic model. They had the hybrid for the Civic and the Corolla and Camry too. Civic is the one that first came out of it back in 2003. Corolla or Camry did not have it, as far as I know, in Canada. My uncle had it early 2000s, 2003, 2004, whatever year it was, I don't remember, 2003 I think. He had that Civic hybrid, and he bought a brand new or something, I don't remember, but he had that Civic hybrid, and it was a great car. It was really nice. A little bit less power, but not a lot less power, a little bit less, but beautiful thing. It does much better on gas than a Civic does. It's like way better on gas. It was 43 miles per gallon, was Civic at that time was doing like 30 miles per gallon roughly. So if you do the math, that's like saving you, 43 divided by 30. I don't know. It's a lot. Like almost like 1.5 times better, So So that's what's going on. I'm trying to think what else I can say about that. So yeah, hybrid Civic and hybrid Toyota have been the answer since like early 2000s to present. Everything else has pretty much lost everyone money, including myself. And then car insurance is a big scam in Toronto, so they never get a ticket, speeding ticket. The camera tickets are okay, they don't really affect your insurance. Never get a red light ticket, don't affect your insurance either. Don't get tickets, don't get accidents, don't go for claims. But that puts a lot of stress on people, so be very, very mindful of everything. Don't drive emotional, all that kind of stuff, okay? And that's all I can tell you. And the other car I like to mention for the money is Nissan Leaf. It's a great car. I don't think the Western world likes us getting Eastern things. Xiaomi was banned here, Huawei. I don't think they're very crazy about what we get in the West from the East, so you may not be able to drive those things here. I think all the white people hate on you here. That's what's really happening. White people always like them to be the smartest looking people in the world, so you would have to move somewhere else probably to have a Nissan Leaf, probably. The climate here is very, very bad. Similarly, in Saudi Arabia, I never saw one electric car there when I was there, and I was there for 3 months. I didn't see one. They're the ones who sell gas. They have gas. They sell a lot of gas in the world. Supposedly, that's where a lot of money comes from. So they're trying to keep the gas cars. They don't have one hybrid or one electric car there whatsoever. Didn't see one the whole time I was there. New World. They were in love with Toyota, but they didn't give a crap about anything else. They were driving mostly 60% of the cars they drove. So I would say 85% of the cars they drove. Toyota, Hyundai, Honda, Nissan. That was like 85% of the cars they drove. And most of that being Toyota. And most of the car color was white. All the cars, they were like white. Some were blue, some were gold, some were mint green. A lot of mint green cars there, mint green. And white. It was Toyota and a lot of Hyundai. I like Hyundai, which really, really not a good car to buy. If you're buying a Hyundai or Kia, just get a Toyota. So crazy. But if you're buying Hyundai, Kia, or Nissan, never buy those cars. Buy Toyota or instead. If you're buying those cars, you shouldn't even be buying a Honda at this point, because Honda is doing better in that climate. Toyota is doing better in that climate than Honda is. For the gas market, Toyota is doing good. For the hybrid market, Toyota and Honda are both doing good. For the electric market, Toyota and Honda are really not there yet, but eventually I'm sure they'll catch up. Toyota is better handling car. Honda is better handling car, and it's good on gas too. But if gas isn't an issue, if it's very cheap and using a reliable thing, Toyota is good. But it's still spending money, right? Why just spend more money on gas than you need to? So that's my cars lesson. My life experience, what I've learned, what I've driven, Toyota and Honda are the best. Get a car you like. Color, tints, rims, whatever. Interior color matters a lot. I hate the gray interiors on cars, even Honda and Toyota have that. I hate it, it's so depressing. I like the tan interior. Like my Corolla had, it was so bright. Only if you go in it, you'll know what I mean. Even though it's an old car, compared to newer cars like BMWs that I was driving in the valet place, I was like, man, my car is so much more better. Like I was like, this is more positive, it's more uplifting. When you go in a black interior or a dark gray interior or something, it's just depressing. Even though it looks nice and looks really like sporty and nice BMW logo and like everything looks really like high tech and everything, it's depressing. Again, the Corolla, it's so bright, you know what I mean? Especially considering we live in a depressing country because of the winter and stuff like that. So Corolla was nice. It was nice interior. That was the only car, I think, 2 cars I had, Toyota Camry and Corolla with the gold interior, tan interior. The gold Camry and that blue Corolla. Every car I ever had otherwise was like grayish, dark blue, and then the Oldsmobile was like dark gray. The Camry was like bluish gray. I don't even know what that's considered, but yeah, it was it was a bluish gray. It wasn't even gray. The other cars are gray. That was bluish, kind of gray. I don't even know. Doesn't matter. It was gray, blue, whatever. It doesn't matter what color it is, you get the point. It wasn't the right color. The gray, gold interior is better. But it always came down to money though. That's what hurt me the most, money. It was like, man, that Camry really killed me on money. I was spending way too much money on gas on that thing. My heart told me to buy a Praise, but I don't listen, I was an idiot. Anyway, that's all I can tell you. So the best car I ever owned, Acura EL, great on gas. Second is Corolla. Every other car I should have never had. Integra I could have had on the side as second car. I experienced it and sell it kind of. I could have had CRX. I could have had every car on the side. And that's all. But the EL and the Corolla were good. And the Ultimate Color Supreme also. I always want to have that too because my dad has it as a kid and I always want to have that car when I got rid of it. So yeah, that I could have on the side as well. That didn't lose me that much money. I didn't drive it that much. I only put like 2,000 kilometers on that car total. So I got it at like 189. I got it at 191. So nothing. 191,000 kilometers. Nothing. Had no rust on it. It was clean interior. Perfect. It was the perfectest car known to mankind. So clean. Original keys. Perfect. But the EL was the best car to own and the Corolla was the best car to own. But even EL and Corolla, I noticed the gas was still a problem. I noticed even though the gas is great, I'm still paying money for gas like every month like an idiot. Like $200 a month or $100 a month in gas, which is a lot of money. So to be throwing away for something that, you know, that problem's already solved, right? Gas and electric already exists, so that's why it's kind of not nice about that. So that's that video. So that's part 2 of this video, and next video we'll talk about different things. Thank you.